Welcome back to the channel. So let's get started with the Italian meatballs and my favorite sauce in the world, pepperoni sauce. So to make this sauce, first off, we're just going to start by toasting up 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds. And you're going to want to get those nice and brown and just fragrant. And then we're going to slice up 5 garlic cloves, and we'll use those in the sauce in a minute here. Dice up 1 small yellow onion. Now the sauce has a long history with me, so you want to check the comments. I put a little story behind this sauce, and it's my love for it, so I think you'll enjoy that. Okay, so chop up 1 pound of pepperoni. Now, not all pepperoni is made equal. Some pepperonis are harder, they've been aged longer, and some are soft, like this variation right here. I come to find that, the quality of the pepperoni really does affect the sauce, so you really want a nice quality pepperoni. 6 tablespoons of olive oil in a large stock pot here. On medium-low heat, what we're going to do is we're going to sweat out the onions and saute those garlic for about 5 minutes till they're nice and fragrant and translucent. Add a pinch of kosher salt. Just give it a stir every so often just to make sure it doesn't burn. And then after about 5 minutes, we're going to add the pepperoni, and we're going to brown that and get it to release all the oils and flavor from it. Those toasted fennel seeds that we did earlier, go ahead and add those to the pot now. And about a teaspoon of red chili flakes as well. We're just going to go ahead and let this cook for about another minute or two. Starting to look really good here. Now let's add 2 28-ounce cans of San Marzano tomatoes. I like the better quality Italian tomatoes for the sauce. Now let's add 2 bay leaves and a pinch of salt. Stir that in. We're going to go ahead and cover the sauce and lower it to a simmer. But one more thing, we need to add 1.5 cups of chicken stock. Use a low sodium stock because we don't want to add too much salt to the sauce. And the longer you let it simmer, the better it'll taste. So on the meanwhile, while that's going, let's get some prep work done. Chop up 1/2 cup of Italian parsley. Now let's separate the yolks from 4 eggs. Set those aside. We'll add that to our meatball mixture here. 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. The fresher the better. Okay, we're going to make a panod. So instead of using dry breadcrumbs that causes the meatballs to become real thick and dense, we're going to use a panod, which basically is taking bread whites, cutting them into small cubes, and adding either milk or buttermilk, which releases all the starches, and that'll be a great binder for the meatballs, and it keeps them nice and soft. So we're going to add 6 tablespoons of buttermilk to the breadcrumbs. Mix them up to make sure that they're evenly coated, and we're going to let that sit aside. I like to add the spices straight to the panod to make sure the meatballs get an even coating of spice throughout. 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, and mix that all up. And we're going to at least let it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, so now that the sauce is done, in a blender or a food processor, we're just going to work in small batches. And you're going to want to basically puree the sauce down. It'll turn from a red to a nice orange color. Make sure to even use the bay leaves as well, because that adds a lot of flavor. Careful, the sauce is hot. Now once the sauce is pureed down to a nice sand-like quality, where the pepperoni has been, emulsified, you're ready. Go ahead and pour that into a 4-quart sauce pot and set that aside. I'm going to finish up the last batch here. And there we go. That's all done. I'm going to cover it up with a lid and just keep it warm on the stove while we prep the meatballs. Okay, it's meatball time. I'm going to use just a 1-to-1 ratio of ground beef and ground sausage here. I'm going to add that parsley that I had chopped up earlier. I'm going to add the 4 egg yolks. That helps keeps the meatballs shape as well. I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese. And about 4 cloves of garlic crushed or minced. Now we're going to add the panod. And when you mix it, you want to make sure it's all nice and incorporated, all the ingredients, but you don't want to over mix it. By over mixing it, you'll make the meatballs really dense. So I'm just doing just enough mixing to where all the ingredients are mixed up nicely. I have my oven at 375. And the meatballs I'm going to shape to about the size of a little bit larger than a golf ball. You can make them smaller if you want. But that's all up to you. You can make them large or you can make them small. Okay, so let's bake at 375 for 30 minutes. We're trying to reach an internal temperature of at least 160. And make sure that the hamburger is nice and done. So let's plate it up. I'm serving this up with some nice buttery pappardelle noodles that I had made on the side while the meatballs were cooking. Let's add the meatballs. And then let's add that wonderful, delicious pepperoni sauce. Let's go ahead and add some more sauce because, if it's that good, why stop there? Garnish with some parsley. And there you go. Bon appetit. So until the next time, I'll see you in the kitchen.